Oh boy. Hey, everybody. I pressed the button and we are live.
Good.
We are live with this motley crew of Don't Dream It Streamiters. And so I'm Dr. Christopher Vogelman. I belong to my wife. And I am the marketing officer for Maximize Your Media. I also run Life Beyond Practice, which is a group for doctors who want to have more free time, freedom, and fun by building their own online businesses. And with me over here is
Paduchak. I have JohnPaduchak.com and also Targeted Net Solutions, which is our local social media group.
And I'm Troy McDonald with Live Event Marketers. That's a group in Facebook, but you can also use liveeventmarketers.com. It'll take you right to that group. It's where we allow you to promote your upcoming live events or live streams that are based on business and or marketing, and also discussing anything and everything that's kind of related to live streaming your marketing or business content.
And we were pulling topics out of the ether yesterday.
Etherwebs
In the Ethernet, and we came up with the idea of confidence. And I think one of the elements that stops people from actually doing live broadcasts or even doing recorded videos or podcasts or anything is a lack of confidence. And so we thought we would just kind of discuss that as to what you can do to improve your confidence, how you can bolster yourself up, and how you can get into the learning by doing instead of just studying videos and watching broadcasts like this one, by doing it yourself.
Although this isn't a bad way to start.
This is a way to do it with a couple of people together. This is what we used to do with Google Hangouts back in the day. We'd have all these people invited in and we'd be featuring people, and then it became Blab. And you just keep, and it was really funny because I couldn't wait to be invited in to the little squares or so. It was like Hollywood Squares or the Brady Bunch.
Brady Bunch. But rolling back just a touch.
Yeah.
I think the first thing to realize with confidence in live video is that everybody has this challenge.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like even people who have been on here a while still wonder, am I worthy kind of to be here?
It's the imposter syndrome.
What are you listening to?
Who am I? Who am I to be?
Yeah, who am I to do this? And so once you get past that point, though, the next thing is you just got to do it. And the easiest way to get started in doing it is doing it like this. Couple friends.
Or in the 30-day live video challenge group.
Or that. That's a great way to get started.
Yeah.
Because then you got a safe environment to practice in and try material on new people, and
they'll give you friendly feedback. They'll give you friendly feedback and not try to tear you down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's another great place to start. And it's kind of fun because today we got Troy with us. And Troy kind of is getting started with live video. You haven't done a lot of live video, right?
No.
So he just got started a little while ago when he started his Live Event Marketers group. And so what was kind of the thing that you looked at that got you moving forward? Because I know that when you first got started, just like everybody who gets started, you had some pretty impressive failures. No offense.
I've had many impressive failures.
Wasn't going exactly right for you.
I don't know how to take that, actually.
Well,
it's like Edison. You've had 2,000 attempts to figure out how the light bulb will not work.
Yeah, I guess I'm sort of looking at as you saying that I had impressive failures in the sense of like the whole thing just bombed. When the reality is it's just pieces of your live stream can be where you fumble your words, or you start. For me, I'll start saying words that like I use like once in a blue moon, and then I know it's not blue moon time, and yeah, you just wonder like where's my brain going and how is it pulling those out when I don't normally speak like that.
Yeah.
I remember one night you had no sound.
Yeah, well, I haven't even got to that part yet.
I fumbled at the very beginning here. I started saying that I was the owner of Maximize Your Media, and I realized no, I'm owned by my wife, and because I felt like I had to recover right at the very beginning.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, like the thing with the audio as well was me just getting used to the software that I was using.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I mean, again, I've been around plenty of software and things, but you make assumptions of how software should work, or, you know, from the way it's either designed and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I kind of fell into that where I did have issues. And I even had an issue yesterday when I was doing a live into the Live Event Marketers group, where I was giving feedback on somebody else's, it was a VSL that they were actually filming their video. So it's a video sales letter. So they were kind of, they were filming it live.
Wow. That's a lot of courage to do.
Yeah. Well, they were filming it live to then distribute. Okay. So, you know, and I was then giving, while I was showing the video into the group while I was being live. So I would pause it and say, here's what I suggest, a correction, or at least my viewpoint on it.
Like a watch party almost, where you can pause and
in a way. However, I didn't do it as a watch party, because the video was not in the group. It was
from elsewhere.
Yeah, she had shared with me through Loom.
That's cool.
Yeah. Now, the thing that I did is I was now going into the software zone where I was actually going to use Ecamm Live instead of my normal Be Live, because Be Live, when you go to play back some things, it has its own issues. So if you're going to play it all through its entirety, it's fine. But if you go to pause and replay, you know, restart and all that kind of stuff, it can have some issues. Well, in Ecamm, you're having audio that's coming from me, and then audio that's coming from the video, and you really can pull from one source at a time, which I didn't realize, or I didn't look into all the details of it. So needless to say, I realized that I was having another audio issue. So I scrapped it and I told everybody that was live watching. I said, look, I'm going to redo this because I realized that you're not hearing what she's saying. And so I need to redo this. And again, I made an assumption on the software, and occasionally I will, to, I guess, give myself more confidence or in what I'm doing, I have gone and tested things in a separate group in Facebook that's just where I'm the member. I didn't do that this time. But I think, so to bring it kind of full circle, to help give confidence is to sometimes test out the stuff. I mean, I thought I had it all. I thought I had it figured out. And I mean, look, sometimes you're just going to make some goofs, period, even though you think you've got it all figured out. But what John said earlier about, or to me, alluded to the thought of that once you have it, you're fine. I think there's always a little bit, and I think we talked about this earlier in an earlier live stream, like even performers, even Dr. V's talked about someone.
3 minutes of butterflies and my knees literally knocking together in front of a group of 1,000 people, but then 5 minutes in, feeling more comfortable about it.
Yeah, and even if you really know the information and content that you're going to deliver, there's just a matter of, I think, different thoughts go through your head. Am I going to deliver it in a way that will connect with them? Because that's, I think, everybody's goal. You really want to add value to people that are listening to you. They're paying with their time, and sometimes time and money. Right. And so you really want to, you want to meet them there. You want to connect in that sense and really deliver. So I think that's what causes that, even if you really know the content.
I think you need to have a confidence that you have some message that you want to deliver. I think part of that comes from our sense of self-worth. If the imposter syndrome or so, well, who's going to listen to me? I'm saying the same thing that everybody else is saying. But the reality is that we all have a different take. We all have our particular flavor or spin on any information that we're going to give out. And as long as you know that you have a message or something valuable, or maybe you're entertaining, maybe you play an instrument, maybe you're a singer, maybe you're a creator and you can show people how to paint. Everybody has some sort of a message that they can deliver. And it's just a question of playing and experimenting with the technology till you become more comfortable, till you have this, and self-confidence is having faith, the confidence, fidence, fidelity, semper fi. Always have faith within yourself, because you're the one who is operating with faith, confidence.
Yeah, and I think you hit the key point, which is the more you practice, the more confident you're going to be.
Exactly.
The more familiar you're going to be with, what to do, what to say, how to say it, and how to recover if something does go awry.
Exactly. Like you have to say that your wife owns you or something like that.
I mean, we've all had some. We've all had some.
I almost said I'm the owner of Maximize Your Media, and that's not true because she's the main owner. So I quickly, what do I say? What do I say? What do I say?
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay, so now I'm slightly getting warmed up in different thoughts coming into my mind.
Look at this. Hey, before you go to that thought,
okay,
I want to come back to, before we even started this broadcast, the very first thing that Troy said was, what'd you say? Come on, say it. Come on. He wasn't sure how much he could say today, right?
Well, on the particular topic, but
yeah, but we did a pretty good job keeping you.
We've already started rolling.
I had to get a little bit in the headspace, but because, well, for me, I think of offshoots. That's kind of how my brain tends to work. Is I can take a particular topic, and then as I get going in that, I think of the offshoots. So, for example, let's say you have a particular following. It may be 1, 2, or 3 people. Okay, like in just something you're starting out, and you're getting a little bit of traction. Maybe they're sort of watching you, and I'm referring to, so again, live stream. So just confidence in general, right? But you're doing a live stream, and maybe somebody comes in for, again, the famous 3 seconds, and they're out. How do you have the confidence, and how do you continue on when you feel like maybe you're not even having the imposter syndrome or the what do I have to offer? You have the lack of confidence in being able to reach enough people, or that you're doing something wrong.
Right.
Now, well, I think that's your hope. Your hope, you aspire to having an audience, and if you're spending your energy focusing on the zero that's in your live stream, that's just going to mess with your head the whole time.
Right. Well, so the thing that I was thinking is that, look, reality is reality, right? You're getting the audience that you're getting. And if you're getting a small bit of audience, then you really need to start, instead of focusing on, again, I'm just not getting any audience. I'm not getting any audience. I'm not getting any audience. Well,
so what? You're creating content.
Well, yes, but if nobody ever sees it, then what does it matter? So here's what I'm trying to allude to, the point of, there's another part of confidence of how you can actually physically go out and get it. Let me explain.
Yeah.
So yes, if you have a small audience or no audience, especially in the beginning, or an audience that just kind of bounces, it's here, there, or whatever, you literally have to go out and promote yourself. Too many people are relying literally on, because I exist, therefore you should watch, or whatever, right? There are literal things that you can do to help increase your confidence. So in other words, as you actually go out there and you're marketing yourself, you're promoting yourself. So again, this would be in essence a plug for like live event marketers, right? If you have a business or marketing oriented live stream, it would be appropriate, as long as you're providing value. It's not a pitch fest, but providing value. You can announce it in that group. That would be something more than just expecting the algorithm of Facebook or YouTube or Twitch, or wherever you're broadcasting yourself, and expecting those. That's kind of like saying, like, okay, I bought the paints and I bought an easel, and now boom, let me see, where's this beautiful painting? It's like, no, you have to put the work into it. You have the materials, right? So and I think as you continue to do that, I see people that actually put in the legwork, as I call it, or the footwork. You then understand it's going to take some time, but you can build it over time, and then that builds your confidence, because you can see the numbers. The numbers do increase. As an example, my group I wasn't sure what it was going to be, and it had 1 person in the beginning, maybe 2, and now we're up to over 500 something, whatever. Now, this will be my last point on this, and then I'll open it up to you guys, or throw it back to you guys.
Yeah.
You will also reach phases when you wish you had 10 people watching you, or 20, you know what I mean? And when you reach those plateaus, well, I should say points, there will be points where it kind of plateaus, and then you're like, and then you can, and this happens to me as well, kind of sink back into the, is this going to be anything?
Is that all there is?
Yeah. You either compare yourself to other people, and, or you, you may have looked at the time. If you've put in a lot of work and there's not a lot of a result from it, you have to kind of pull back and reevaluate, like, well, was I promoting in the right places? How was I promoting it? Or you even have to sometimes check yourself and go, I really wasn't putting in the effort in promotion. I did just this little thing.
Yeah.
And I expected more of a result than I should have really got. So you will hit those, but again, the remedy for it, as Dr. V would like to say, the remedy, because he's a doctor, right? No, I'm putting words in his mouth.
Did you pay snake oil salesman or doctor?
Yeah. is really, again, getting that footwork and leg work out there, because when all is said and done, you are going to make your success. You're using these other tools that exist, but you are going to make your success. And it's that same thing we've mentioned over, I'm the, 7-year success or whatever. I'm the 150
overnight success. It only took me 7 or 12 years to get there.
Right. Or the 122 days, whatever your story is, it's not going to happen overnight. And so that confidence, again, is usually not going to happen overnight. You're going to have days where you feel better than others. And then the reality is you have to put in the legwork to help build that audience, which can help reinforce your confidence. So I'm kind of like, say, hitting a lot of some side areas off of a main topic, but
yeah. So going back to my original point, the reason I was kind of putting Troy on the spot a little bit was that the nice thing is if you're working with somebody else and they're kind of interviewing you or asking you questions, they can draw you into the conversation. So if you have somebody that's more outgoing than you or has done this before that can interview you, it's a great way to kind of get rolling, get started with it, and build more confidence, because you've got somebody that has a little confidence on with you to help you develop your own. That was where I was trying to go with what we're talking about.
No, that is actually huge. And in fact, in the Live Event Marketers group, I have a section where people can add themselves to a list that they are available to speak.
Oh.
And then other people, again, on the topics of business and marketing.
Right.
And then at the same time, people in the group who are looking for some of their events or summit or something like that they might have can then find speakers that are available, to speak. And then in that sense, you can talk to the person, because they maybe there's a couple of different scenarios where I ask people if you're looking to do, so if you have material, are you looking to do like one-on-one, like John's saying, where you're having more like, they're asking you stuff and
back and forth.
And even the interesting thing, John, I don't know if a lot of people think about, but if you go onto a talk show, say like on the TV, right?
Sure.
On normal telly, is your agent or whoever you work with is handing that host a set of questions,
right?
Because they do want to hit certain points, and then not that there won't be some freestyle in there, but you're there for a reason. So people that do like the one-on-one kind of thing, you need to have something prepared for them that are points that you want to hit. And then also, oh darn, I thought I was going to sneeze and say bless you, or maybe he did sneeze. Or was it
No, coughing.
Okay. It looked more like a cough. It looked more like a cough. That's why I was like,
it was a non-COVID cough.
I laugh when people, that's the first thing to think. But anyway, so when you do the one-on-one type thing, again, have a set of things that people can refer to, because they can either open up other ideas for them, but it also lets you get your specific points that you need to out, whether it's, and it even lets you give more, even sometimes a soft plug. So you're not always having to hard plug something or just go into an awkward plug of your stuff.
So Rohit was just saying, or you can do live, you can spill some golden nuggets, use it as content. That's exactly true. That's one of the reasons we do this.
Yeah,
it's
because we
can go back and other people are watching your ad.
We can repurpose this, even if we just take out little snippets that Troy likes to talk about and bring it someplace else. Put it into, as we talked about earlier, but yesterday we were talking about product creation, just taking this and repurposing in different formats, get the transcript, get the a video package, if you will, or your snippets of your greatest hits. Perhaps strip out the audio, use it for a podcast or an audio series that you might want to do. You could stick it up on SoundCloud or some of these other places. And the confidence, it's all a mindset thing. It's I've done something. You develop confidence. We all develop confidence and competence for that matter when we learned how to walk. And it was the process of 1 foot forward and then catching us from falling. So each step that we take, and even nowadays, the whole process of walking is moving a leg forward, falling forward, and then catching yourself. But we never think about it step by step or little, nerves and muscles at a time. It's an unconscious competence. And it is an unconscious confidence that we're able to walk from point A to point B without falling flat on our faces.
And talking, we all started talking, not even knowing what we're going to say.
We can walk and talk at the same time too. That's a confidence builder. And here we're just pressing the start button.
And if you can chew gum, a
button, if we can do it, and talking. So once you get into your head that, hey, nobody's out to kill me. The camera is not a gun. That's right. And that I'm capable of having conversations with people. It just so happens that it's being sent out with little electrons all over the place. So it really is a mindset game. It's a game of playing games with your own mind and not letting your mind trick you into believing that there's a death sentence waiting for you as soon as you go live.
Right. And then the other thing was, it's easy oftentimes to start with smaller pieces of material. Mm-hmm. So come on and do like a 2 or 3 minute video on how to go live, how to look confident in front of the camera, how to get through the technology. You can always think of something. Think of what people would want to be searching for surrounding you and make a video about it.
How to put together your blooper reel from all the things that went wrong when you went live.
Sure. That'll be an easy one because you're going to have many.
It's the perfect one for me.
Yep. And there's no way to really get past that. At some point, you're just going to have to feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yep. Which is the title of one of my favorite books behind me.
Me too.
Feel the fear and do it anyway. That's why I brought up. That's the mark of courage, which is, people say courage is fearlessness. No. If you're courageous, you feel the fear and you still push ahead.
Good. Go ahead, Troy.
Yeah, I would say it's like Rohit said, and then you both of you said this. It's something that I've kind of coined the phrase a live snippet. Mm-hmm. And in the group, Angela Langlotz, she's a trademark attorney. She does really well in the group. She does these live snippets. It's where you take a kind of golden nugget or some valuable content, and you make it into a 3-5 minute video, something. And I think when you again chunk it back from, instead of thinking I've got to do this big, long, elaborate thing, it makes it easier to digest or even put the confidence around it. Like, well, I can do that. I can do that. And then I think, as like Dr. V said, think of those as steps. So as you are doing quite a few of those, I think you'll have, it slowly builds that confidence muscle to where you can then maybe do something longer if needed, or you would like to do it.
I love the snippet idea, the live snippet, because all you really need to do is ask a question, or we used to pretend sometimes that we had our mailbag from our readers. Here's a question. So we would construct our own question and then we would answer it. And it was actually a great way to create content.
Well, I think the other thing people struggle with, and I think it falls into confidence, I was just thinking about this with Angela, is the format. Mm. So if you've got a format that you follow, it's kind of like connecting the dots. It makes it easier. So like the format for our thing today, if we were going to turn it into a snippet, might go something like, today we're going to be talking about live confidence in video. My name's John Paduchak, and I'm joined today by Dr. Vogelman and Troy McDonald. And these are some of the things that we run into when we see issues with confidence in video, and just go through them point by point. And there's your short snippet video.
I actually saw that recently done with Chris Record. He was from Vegas on a live broadcast. It was a 5-hour broadcast. I kid you not, a 5-hour live.
He likes to talk a long time, Chris.
It was a Zoom. Unbelievable, 5 hours. But at the very end, towards the very end, he recorded that summary of the entire 5 hours. And that was remarkable. It was probably 3-5 minutes. But he summarized, but he said, we're going to record. I'm going to stop right now. We're going to record this. But that was continuous within the live, was the section that he was taking out to use as an intro video or a promo video for that 5-hour webinar.
I'd like to say hi to Trevor, who just called us slapheads.
Slaphead? What's a slaphead?
I don't know what it is, but I love it. I have to use that expression now. I'm always calling my kids every now and then, my boys, come here, Slappy.
No,
So Slappy, I like that.
Slappy.
So welcome, Trevor.
Trevor.
So confidence. What else can we say about confidence?
You don't have to be a con to produce confidence. So,
no.
Although there are confidence men who will sell you all kinds of stuff that's not going to necessarily do the job. So that's the negative side of confidence. They believe their own lies. That's dangerous. But I love the idea of the word faith within confidence, that you have faith in yourself, faith that something else perhaps is in control, helping to pump out the message that you're giving. And I think that once you start to take away from your mind the notion that you're constantly under threat when that camera light goes on, then you start to feel more comfortable. But it's just learning by doing. I was listening to something that Rich Sheffrin had said. It was a repeat of a broadcast. I think you watched that, Troy, from last week with Katrina Ruth and Rich Sheffrin. And he said something to the effect, it might have actually been this week, yesterday, that he remembers having Gary Vaynerchuk at an event that he had hosted back in 2008. And one of the things that he had said was that Gary really hasn't changed since 2008, but he just kept doing daily videos, day after day after day. And it wasn't just his wine reviews. It was just that he just kept pumping out content until he felt so comfortable. It didn't matter if there was a camera or 5 cameras or he was standing in front of a group of 5,000 people.
Well, there's I think if you look at Angela, that's what she does. It's funny, like I've commented on some of her live streams that she's done, and she it's interesting, she just really doesn't care, in a sense, meaning that she's like, hey,
this is me. Take it or leave it.
Yeah, but also that expression that you used earlier, at least that's the first time I heard, is she said the camera's not a gun.
Right.
And she's like, I'm going to be me. And so she does do video content on trademarks and copyright stuff, but she also does videos on other things that she feels is important and it gets people to know about her. And she'll talk about her live streaming, and she'll talk about, her messing up and how does she handle it, or what does she do? And all those little things. So she is, I think she's really, embraced it. In fact, I've seen some of her other posts just in general that aren't live streams, and she just doesn't give a rip, so to speak. Mm-hmm. I mean, and I would think that I kind of fall into that category as well. I mean, I know we all still care about certain things, but I mean, like, you have to feel, and I do think it does come with time as well. You have to feel fine or okay with yourself. And sometimes it's your material. You have to feel, again, like you said, you do know what you know, and you need to say it the way you need to say it, because there is somebody that needs to hear it the way that you deliver it. Mm-hmm. And whether that's a podcast or it's video or a live stream. Mm-hmm.
And somebody will resonate with your message. I mean, not everybody's going to love you. I hate to say that, but that's true.
You've seen that today.
Yeah. And when as soon as you start finding your haters, when I started finding my haters, I knew I was making an impression, because it told me that my message was getting out to a wider range of people. And it's just like when we do in marketing, we take a funnel and narrow it down. Well, I was reaching a wide enough audience to funnel them down and kick out the haters along the way, because they weren't going to resonate with my message. Doesn't matter.
Okay. The haters, you can smoke the haters if you don't like what they say.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So That actually brings up a question then, Dr. V. So Rich Sheffrin and Katrina, they were talking basically about, you being you.
Yeah.
Right. So my question is, because I can see a lot of people sometimes smoothing out some of their edges and things because they are trying to get the largest audience possible.
Yeah.
And I could see where that makes sense, right? You want to find the largest amount of people, and some people just want to stay that. Like, I just want to find the largest amount, and I just want to keep it that way. I think also then there's a point of us where we know that, like, well, there is your target audience within that people.
Yeah.
So I haven't been able to go through. I haven't gone through because they did it in 2 parts. I didn't go through yesterday's yet.
I downloaded both of them if you need them.
Oh, okay. So my question is, what do you say with somebody who, because I think, us being part of our confidence is like, am I presenting this the right way? I really want to be like this, or this is me, but will I be accepted? And so what is it what did you take from, having watched those of like, where it's just like, you got to be yourself and then that's it. And you have to be okay with it.
I think that because people throw around this word and concept of authenticity on a regular basis. And, it's almost like they want to fake being authentic, which is bizarre to say the least. And I do think I resonated with Katrina's message so much that I actually did purchase that offer that Rich she had put together.
Oh, cool.
And the reason behind it is simply because I think when you're able to let the world see you, warts and all, your quirkiness, your craziness. I'm not quite ready as she is to be able to show the hot mess that she sometimes says she is behind the scenes trying to put together a program or something like that, because we want to present our best side. And I think that it's unrealistic for anybody to expect somebody to be perfect or to be on 100% of the time. Yep. And I think the more you're able to relate to other people with your own flaws, your flub-ups, your recoveries, and everything else like that, I think that's when you have a far greater reach, because you're able to touch the level, the commonality of being a human being, that we all have our flaws and fears and aspirations. So maybe that's the part that I got out of it.
Yep. I was going to say, Rohi made a great comment here. Confidence is just doing something so many times that you don't even have to think about it.
Absolutely.
Don't act. You're good at something. Just practice and become good. Don't act.
So you have what we used to always call the unconscious competence. You have the ability. It's ingrained in you. You're on autopilot. When you get into your car, you get into your RV, John, and it's 32 feet long, and you have to think a little bit more. But if you get into a real car, a normal sized car, you can drive without thinking about it. You can carry on conversation with somebody, listen to the radio, a number of other things. Now, granted, there's some studies that show there is a little bit of distraction just listening to a radio.
Thinking about it.
For the most part, you are unconsciously competent at that point.
Yeah.
I think when we get into video broadcasting, live video broadcasting, that's why I like the 30-day live video challenge, because you've got that safe environment. You just can't play and experiment.
Exactly.
When you get into doing this, you start out being consciously incompetent, like me. And then you reach a point where you start developing the skills through experience, through doing things over and over, the endless cycle of repetition, a little bit of refinement, to the point where you become consciously competent. And over time, it gets a little bit deeper and deeper in your habits until such time as you become unconsciously competent, or you have that inborn confidence that you can speak to somebody about almost anything, anytime, which is what Troy does. Troy's capable of talking to anybody about anything.
Brenda says, is that why so many lives are done in the car? They really shouldn't be. Definitely not while driving.
Live broadcast
idea. No.
Unless you want to provide evidence to the other people when you've caused an accident.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I know. It's so weird to see people do that.
Well, some people have cameras that are mounted in the car, and they're just talking as they go, which is better. I I wouldn't be holding my phone in one hand while I had the wheel in the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's interesting to see people doing lives in the car, and they're like, doing a lot of the looking at the camera, but they're probably those same people that when you're sitting with them driving, and they're like, and you know what I mean? You're like, keep your eyes on the road.
That's not what
I can
going.
hear you.
If you're going to
We
put a
can
camera,
drive
put it
on
in
the
your
road.
face, right in the just below your line of sight, maybe, or down below. I've seen people put it down below where it's almost though you're kind of staring up their nostrils, which is a little weird.
Well, I feel like a lot of times they'll have it in kind of in between the passenger and the driver, so it's kind of like the center, and they'll just have it, on.
And they may talk to the rear view mirror, maybe.
Right. Now, I was going to say, I am looking for a good dash cam to put in, and a lot of dash cams go back and forth both ways, and then I could see being fine. But
yeah.
Otherwise, trying to do it on your cell phone is a little weird.
But so Dr. V, let me jump back real quick to the Katrina thing. Because this is one thing that actually has, gone in and out of my mind, that you think, okay, I want to be the authentic me. I mean, and I think I'm pretty authentic. In other words, I'm being me. However, I do know that there's some things that are polished, or I try to have them be that way, because I think there is the fear as well. And this is one of mine, or at least to some degree, where, I mean, you don't want, you feel like if I'm too authentic, like I'm just me, then you're going to, again, scare off whoever you had, and your audience is going to be so small that it's not going to provide enough.
But is that true? So
that is the question. That is the question.
But that would be the same thing with friendships and other relationships. If you were just going to be yourself with your friends, would they accept you or would they reject you? If you've got good friends, they accept you, warts and all. They accept you when you have an angry fit and you apologize and that sort of thing. So I think it's a question of how we define relationships, both personal and business. And do we want the quality of our business relationships to be similar to the quality of our personal relationships?
Okay.
Look for that depth.
And I appreciate that answer. Now let me put you on the spot here. Okay. So
why have you never done that?
That's right. You have beaten the wasp's nest, and we're coming out now.
Slaphead.
So the reality, I think, for most of us is we have a small knit group, a tight knit group of friends, or just a small group of friends, right? And so if you think about that, because that's what you're saying, well, you want to, you want people that you in essence you are friends with, that you can, or that you really connect on that level.
Yeah.
But unless you are a super high ticket selling person, you're not going to be able to create a lifestyle income off of that.
I don't know if that's true. I think that's a belief, and I can understand how you would have that belief. But the question is, think of the people who have mailing lists of only 1,000 people, but there are 1,000 buyers. So for example, with my wife's mailing list, I've been condensing it and getting rid of those people who haven't opened up an email in a year or 2 years or 6 months, for example. And at first she's freaking out, and I was freaking out too, because the list is getting smaller and smaller. You go from thousands to hundreds. But the responsiveness of that list and the lower cost of maintaining that list,
much better.
Coupled with the idea that you can send anything you want to these people, and you will drive traffic to your blog, traffic to your lives, and things like that. There's something about opening up a mailing list and saying, hey, these people love me, and if I recommend something, they're going to get it. So the question is, do you want to have build your list and build your persona? Because I've done the whole polished thing as the doctor delivering serious news and stuff. Do you want to build that persona, that mask that you wear? Or do you want to be a genuinely helpful person who is relatable and who's a problem solver?
And it's so easy now to just run ads to those people to still keep them in the loop.
Yeah, because let's say that you took your list of 1,000 super fans and uploaded it to Facebook to create a lookalike audience. How powerful is that? As opposed to a list that's so broad that you're not going to get that same kind of juice and that same kind of data pull?
Yep.
That's what I'm wondering about, because I kept thinking, we always have this mindset that bigger is better. And we reach a point where bigger might enslave you to becoming an employee of your own business rather than an owner, where you've got 18 people working for you, and you've got an overhead, and of an extra $20,000 a month, and the rent is going up, and utilities and payroll and healthcare and all. So is bigger always better, or do we want to create a lifestyle business, and in creating a lifestyle business, reveal something about our life?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So all these questions were rolling in my head while I was watching that broadcast between Katrina Ruth and Rich Sheffrin.
Yeah, depends on the person, a lot of it.
Yeah. I mean, you can still, because I remember so many times I would try to be the serious doctor in the office. It's like, Mrs. Jones, you have this degenerative disc and it's causing a pinching on the nerve and this and that, but I can help you. I can fix that. And now, granted, you have to have some confidence when you're doing this, because, if you say I can fix it, you don't know what the heck you're doing. That's not going to come across, with that same degree of intent and enthusiasm and the feeling that you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But at the same time, over time, I became more and more confident in my ability to connect with a patient. My thought was, I got to the point where if I can get them in the door, they're mine. Mm-hmm. But it was through the ads and everything else. If I get them in the door or for referral, get them into the office, I know they're mine. But that just came with, and that took years. That was like probably maybe more close to 7 years or so before I had that kind of faith that I knew what the hell I was talking about. But then at that point is where I revealed more of my quirky personality, telling, bad puns and jokes and things. And it almost got to the point where I thought that the patients were coming into the office more for the entertainment value than they were for the actual care. So
could be, or
it could be, because I do believe a lot of practices and businesses, to an extent, are a cult of personality.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I know that's why people come see me.
There you go, because you're a cult leader.
Yeah, sure.
Russell Brunson talks about this too. He used to talk about developing a culture.
Yeah. No, that's true. There's a big part of that. It's very true.
Oh, Brenda's done lives from a parked car. That's good. Yeah. Riding in a car.
Yeah. Driving in them, I think, is
one of my friends, Sam Crowley. He does his podcasts often from a parked car at Costco or Walmart.
Yeah, parked.
He has millions of downloads.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
No, let her rip. I think it's just learning by doing. And the real question is, do we want to walk around with a mask all the time, or are we confident enough, not just in our message, but that we're nice people who really want to do good?
That's a good idea. You can always do your broadcast with your mask on.
Yeah, the masked.
Till you get confident, and then you can take it off.
The Phantom of the Opera.
I should have grabbed my shades. I told you I wanted to wear them on the live one of these days. Oh. I didn't remember to get them. No, you did yours yesterday. You don't get to do it again.
My future is so bright.
Yeah.
I gotta wear shades.
Yeah, you did that yesterday. It's once a week. You're
can I save these for the happy hour on Friday, because I may need these. Actually, after the happy hour.
You did it yesterday, and you did it today, and now you're trying to add to a Friday. You're like,
but did you know? So here's a quirky little thing that people recognize. So over the course of time, I have made it a habit, or just a quirky habit, of ending some comment that I might have in somebody's broadcast or on their posts with a palm tree, a little emoticon with the shades on, and another palm tree, because I'm living on an island. So for me, if you imagine my hands are palm trees, this is my emoticon basically. And so I even designed my website and others with the shades on the emoticon, because I just kept using it out of habit. And so it's almost associated with me now are the shades and the palm trees.
So one thing I'm realizing here. So thank you, Brenda, because you've helped me realize that GIF comments don't come through.
They do not.
No. So I've seen all these blank.
But when you have
saying to me,
Yeah, you have to, so what you can't do is
Now
you gotta go and look where the live broadcast is, but
I went back and
it's a watch party, and it's like
so I didn't realize that those don't come through.
no.
But
And
they're
we
cool
can't
to go back and
respond
look
to the
at.
comments through StreamYard either, which is kind of frustrating.
Yes.
Well, I think the thing is too with those is, I mean, some of them you might not want to come through, but they will still be on the thread, though. I mean, you know.
The other thing I've noticed, some of my friends doing live broadcasts, if you're in the area where you have the screen and the real-time comments, you can't post those GIFs. But if you go out of the screen into your feed, start the video with the volume, you can post the GIFs there from your feed.
So both you guys say GIFs. Is it also pronounced Jun for gun?
No.
Sure. It's pronounced gentleman, not gentleman.
All right, you got me on that one.
Okay.
So, but the other one I like is like, is it food? Then why isn't it good?
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going down a rabbit hole here.
I think we're at the end of our broadcast.
English is
Final thoughts.
Yes,
So final thoughts.
that's my final thought.
That was your final thought.
When it comes to confidence, it really is the old adage of just learning by doing. The only way you gain confidence is by doing it. And I like what John had mentioned about feel the fear and do it anyway. And just by doing it over and over and over and over again, you're going to get to the point where you become unconsciously competent, and you're going to become just really fun to watch because you're not going to be really worried about things as much. I think that's the greatest thing, is just bouncing worry out of your head. Like, what was worrying about what will people think? I mean, we want to reach people, but we can't always be worried about what other people are thinking, because then we won't be of very much use to anybody.
True.
So.
I'm gonna show my confidence right now, and I pronounce it as a GIF. So for all you who like to now leave the live stream, we'll see you.
This is like flour tortillas or corn tortillas when my wife puts out one of these posts.
or tomato, that kind of thing too. But anyway,
potato.
Yeah. I'm going to say it the way I say it, and I just, yeah, it's one that you can never win anyway, whatever it is. But I think it's the two things. I think it's like Dr. V said, you have to just kind of, do it to build it. Mm-hmm. And then the other part is, I think in this case, well, actually in any case, part of doing is actually, you're building it, right? But there's also the other parts of building it, like I had mentioned earlier, where you can promote yourself to get more of an audience, to help you then feel confident, or to help build the confidence people who do want to see you. And yeah, I do also, I mean, we can also talk about the point of whittling down your audience. That's kind of a separate subject, but I do believe that that helps build your confidence when you do have, more people tune into you, and you're reaching more of the people that you want to reach. And yeah, actually, Brenda's that you're just going to open up a can of worms, because
no more worms. We're not going fishing. No more worms.
I things in there, and you know what? I really don't care if you invented it. I'm still calling it GIF. So,
but choosy mothers choose GIF.
That's right.
There you go.
Because I'm going to sleep good at night, no matter how anybody pronounces it and however I pronounce it. So, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. So, but in other words, so the confidence comes from actually doing, but also do other things so that you are successful, or you can help build your success in what you're doing. So don't just say like, well, I have a podcast and I'm doing it and I feel confident in it, but now nobody's paying attention to it. And so should this be something I do? So your confidence is going down in another way, but also what can you do to build? That's kind of mean like a part of the confidence thing.
I think if you survey your listeners or your readers or your friends and others, I think you can still respond to feedback and maybe give people what they want within the messaging that you have and your confidence. So feedback's great, reviews and things like that.
But not feedback things like whether it's GIF or GIF. And look how John's instigating it too. He's all, let me pop this up on the screen because I know it's going to get
No, that
true.
was actually me.
That was him.
Oh, that was Dr. V?
That was Dr. V.
Oh, now I know. Now I know. All right,
It's
Dr. V.
tricky. You
Now you have
never,
the can of worms.
you never know where these come from now. JohnPaduchak.
Hi. Yes.
Your final thought.
My final thought is that you just have to practice. Practice is the big thing. It's going to instill confidence. It may be horrible when you first get started with this, but what does it matter? You're not going to die. Nothing bad's going to happen to you. You just got
How
to.
was it the first time you drove a car? Your first driving lesson?
Oh yeah, actually, I did pretty good driving, but I'm an anomaly.
You're an anomaly.
I'm an anomaly. I had to drive. I had to drive when I was 7. I grew up on a farm.
Yeah.
So I'm an anomaly. Like I could drive a stick, like in my sleep, kind of thing.
Does that bother your wife?
Huh?
John,
But
your final comment, you say practice.
practice.
So do you mean
Find a buddy.
do you mean where nobody's actually paying attention to you? Because you can practice, or are you talking about actually just getting in front of people and doing it?
You just got to get in front of people and do it.
If
You're public speaking or anything, you just have to.
I would say both. Practice with nobody and practice with people watching.
Yeah, I think both is good. Both is good because you need to do some practice on your own.
Yeah.
I think even recording yourself is a good place to start, just to hear what you sound like.
I hate it.
Most of us hate the sound of our voice.
But
I think the way we look on camera.
You'll always hear what's in that.
Yeah, and if you can live with that, then do it publicly.
I say even if you can't live with that, if you've got a message, just get it out.
Yeah, no, I know. You got to do it anyways.
Don't confuse the medium with the message.
Right. So anyway, hopefully this all helped you to instill and gain some confidence today.
I feel better already.
I do. I felt good before we started, so it's.
All right.
Rohit said real quick, he goes, I'm terrible on camera, LOL. I need to practice. I think, Rohit, it's just like we're saying, just get out there and do it. I think you'll always probably be your worst enemy, or we typically are. So you kind of can't be the judge and the jury, so to speak. Yeah. And I think Dr. V said it well, as don't confuse the message and the media. So just maybe let's just call it you suck on video or a podcast. Who cares? If your content is quality, if it provides value to people, which I think really everybody does, because you have your own way of presenting a message.
Yeah.
I mean, just get out there, and also like what Dr. V said about, once you kind of getting a little bit of traction, start talking to people, kind of find out what they want, and then you can find out what to maybe reiterate on, or even and delve into further and start
topic. Yeah. Try a different topic.
Well, we all have our own perfect audience. I think that might be something that would be good to do tomorrow.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's your avatar?
Take you guys through the structure of your perfect audience.
Who is your audience? That's a great topic. I like that.
That's a good one. I think you'll like the structure I have around it too.
Okay.
So that'll be tomorrow.
Okay. Hey, are we out of here?
We're out of here.
All right, we're out of here.
Bye for now, everybody.
Tomorrow, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, 3 Mountain,
Central,
noon Hawaiian,
and 1 Alaska, right?
1 Alaskan time. Bye.
4 o'clock Central.
Yeah,
in
4
Europe,
Central. For your fans.
I'm sorry, for my friends in Europe, I do care.
We do care about you.
I just can't do the math. That's
and
all.
Aussie. We have a couple of Aussies.
All right.
Good day.
See you guys.